Kivano Kujvaj. I am Moscow bound. Would you believe that? I'm going. I'm going to. I'm going to Moscow. That's the one thought that came to my mind as I wake up here at about 4:30 a.m. on a start of another day. My dad used to always say he would wake up in the morning, and my dad used to always say, "It's going to be a beautiful day." Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. He would always say that. He would. I think even if the weather forecast was for showers and mixed clouds throughout the day, it was always going to be it's going to be a beautiful day. And then at night, he would always say what would he always say? Dad would always say, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll try again tomorrow." He used to say that all the time. I used to sleep in we had a three-story home back in Cleveland, Ohio, and with six boys, there was how many bedrooms in that home? There was basically three bedrooms, and the attic, basically. You'd call it the attic. But Mom and Dad converted the attic into a barracks. And us six boys, hmm, us six boys would sleep upstairs in the barracks, so to speak. And little did I know that it was prepping me for military life some 15 years later. But anyway, Dad would always come up. I don't know if it was as much to tuck us in, but Dad would come up to see us at night usually, and sometimes he'd carry one of the little ones up that was sleeping. You know, one of my little brothers. He'd carry them upstairs. But anyway, nonetheless, when when he was leaving the third floor and going back downstairs, you'd always hear as he turned off the light, "Go to sleep. We'll try again tomorrow." That was it. He used to always say, "We'll try again tomorrow." And I remember now and then one of us boys would yell out to him, "Dad, what will we try again tomorrow?" And he'd say, "What we didn't get finished today." So my dad was always a positive guy, for the most part. He was a positive man, and he was a kind he had a kind, gentle soul in him. You know, really one of a kind people. And you know, reflecting on my dad as I'm doing it's in part because every morning when I come down to get a coffee, to have my coffee, the same coffee that's probably keeping me up at night. Every time I come down to get my coffee, I look at my selection of coffee cups. And you know, I bought into the whole Starbucks marketing scheme where, you know, you gotta get a Starbucks cup for every place you go. You know, and I started collecting Starbucks cups, you know, one from, you know, Amsterdam, one from Krakow, one from Budapest, one from Cleveland, for Christ's sake, one from, you know, Auckland and Melbourne and Sydney and all this stuff. And all of a sudden you got all these coffee cups sitting around. And so you wake up in the morning and it's like, do I go to Krakow this morning, or do I go to, you know, maybe I'll go to Maui today or something like that. But hmm, today, as I looked into my cabinet, I saw this one, "The World's Greatest Dad." World's Greatest Dad. I don't know where he got this. I don't know if I gave this to him or not. But whenever I used to send my dad stuff in the mail, it would always be addressed "World's Greatest Dad." That's what I would always say. I wouldn't put his name. I would just put "World's Greatest Dad," and off I'd send it to him. But if I'm not mistaken, today, I believe, is the day of my 1 year anniversary of my father's passing. And I think he passed at about, I was talking to my sister the other day, I think he passed at about 4:06 or 4:07 Eastern time. And yeah, I've never been one to really mark anniversaries. You know, the whole concept of time is something. Well, I don't want to go down the story. Go down the path of talking about my concept of time. But I've never really been much into anniversaries. But you know, as I look back on the anniversary of my dad's passing, it was a hallmark moment. You know, I mean, it really was. It really was a hallmark moment. And if there was any way to go out, you know, I can't think of a better way than my father with you know, so many people around him that loved him. And and it was it's a moment that I'll never forget. You know, and just the fact that, you know, the all of, you know, the, I think there was probably of my 9 siblings, there must have been about 7 of us there or something like that. But anyway, it was just it was if dying can be a beautiful thing. I mean, you know, my dad was the Van Gogh. My dad was the Van Gogh of dying. What a what what a way to go. But anyway, the you know, I was thinking about something that happened yesterday, and that was you know, I went on speaking of dying, I found myself thinking about this, that yesterday or the last couple of days I started going on this community website and just throwing all kinds of stuff up there for sale. Just anything that I didn't want, throwing stuff up for sale. And I came across a box of Depends, you know, Depends underwear or whatever. Like Skip knows what to say, and Skip Smith and the Villages knows what they are. But I came across a box of Depends, and for those of you outside the United States, it's underwear that you wear for primarily, well, for incontinence, kind of like adult diapers. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I came across this box, a Costco size box. Must have been like 80 adult diapers in there, and for men. And you know, I say there was 80 in there because I got them from my dad, but he never wore the he never wore the damn things, or he'd put on one and then he'd wear it for, you know, I guess I don't know. But anyway, um, but I gave it away, and you don't, what am I going to do? Sell a box of Depends underwear, you know, for $5 or something like that. So I just put free on it. And you know, over the last couple of days, people have been sending me messages. Is this available? Is this? And then last night, I get a message from a older woman who said that it would really help her husband, who has, I guess, Parkinson's and dementia or something like that. And and we ended up exchanging a few emails. And you know, when she told me about that, I thought, you know, most of the people that want anything that I'm offering, it's, you know, come and get it, or I'll leave it on the porch. But with her, you know, and she wasn't even in this community. She's somewhere out there. But you know, when she told me that about her husband, you know, my first gut reaction was, I'll bring them to you. I'll bring them to you. You don't have to come and get and pick up the Depends. But anyway, so as the evening pursued, she kept sending me these messages. You know, messages that he's been in the hospital all day, and oh, I'm so tired, and okay, I'm going to bed now. You know, I mean, she started sending me all these messages like with a a play-by-play, and I could picture this in my mind. I could picture, an older couple, and one dependent upon the other. And and my heart went out to her. And as I started to think about that, I started to, there's always that thing in the back of your head, like, who's going to take care of me? Who's who's going to take care of me when I grow old and I'm dribbling all over myself. But anyway, so Moscow bound. When you believe it, I'm going to Moscow, Russia. Maybe I'll have coffee with Putin. Hmm. But Moscow bound, and you know how that came about was I made a mistake, made a poor decision of renting my place in Budapest first before getting my flight. And I say that because usually if you get a flight, you got to shop around and get the best rate and all that kind of crap. So anyway, I started looking for a flight to fly out to make my reservation for my apartment. They call them a lakash over there, not an apartment. But I started looking for a flight, and should I use miles or not use miles? Should I go one way or should I buy a round trip? Um, should I do a layover in some place or just try to get there? Anyway, the flights weren't. It wasn't as easy to find a flight as possible as always, and what I ended up with the choice of, I ended up with a choice of flying to Istanbul. See the movie Midnight Express. If you have not seen the movie Midnight Express, you got to see the movie Midnight Express. But for the choice was flying to Istanbul or flying to Moscow. Istanbul, Moscow. Istanbul, Moscow. And although I'd love to see Istanbul, as I was telling Oz Down Under, it is a little bit too close to the fire, if you will, Istanbul. I don't necessarily want to go to Istanbul any time very soon because of its proximity to all the other crap in the world that's happening. But so I'm flying to Moscow, and I will fly from I think it's Cleveland to. I think I'm going Cleveland to New York, and then over to Moscow. I think that's the trip, or even I might even be going to Toronto, but I'm going over to Moscow on a Russian airline. So that'll be interesting, and I've got I think a 2 hour layover in Moscow airport before landing in Budapest. Hmm. And that reminds me of a story. Some years back, I was flying to Europe, and I was flying out of San Francisco, and I was dreading the flight. It was going to be like a 13-hour flight or something, 12-hour flight. And I'm just dreading the flight. And those flights going over to Europe usually originate in the evening and they arrive in the morning over there. And I'm walking onto this plane, crowded plane, and I always try to get an aisle seat. So as I'm walking on the plane, I'm kind of walking down the no, what do you call it? The aisle, and you're looking ahead because you're in row 42 or in your own, row 27 or whatever it is. So you're kind of looking down the aisle and you're trying to see, okay, where's my seat and who am I sitting next to, or who am I not sitting next to, and and I'm walking down the aisle on this evening in San Francisco, and I look ahead and I see this beautiful, beautiful girl, woman, girl, lady. See this beautiful, beautiful lady, and I'm thinking, oh God, please, row 42, please, row 42, please, row 42, and sure enough, it was, I don't know if it was God's favor or not, but Sure enough, they're right there next to me was this just beautiful, beautiful woman. And as we're getting, all settled in and everything like that, I said hello to her. I tried to engage this woman in conversation, and she said, "No, no English, no English." And I'm thinking, "Oh, great." And then the flight's, taking off and everything. And I'm trying to. I'm always up for a challenge, especially when it comes to a pretty lady. So I pulled out the map in the back of the seat. I pulled out the map of the world, and I pointed to the map, and I asked her, "Where is she from?" And she points to Moscow. From Moscow. She was Russian. And so anyway, as the flight's getting underway, I realized, it's a 13-hour flight. I realized that this woman had nothing. She had nothing. She had no books. She had no music. She had nothing. She had nothing. I guess the emergency instructions in the seat back in front of her. And that was it. She had nothing. So I took it upon myself to be her source of entertainment for the flight. And I'll never forget that flight. I just so happened to have a Andrea Bocelli concert on my laptop, and the DVD, and in Tuscany. And after dinner, they dimmed the lights, and there were her and I were. I gave her the headset, and put on Andrea Bocelli, and the next thing I know, the two of us are cuddling under the blanket. It was the most bizarre thing. It was the most bizarre thing that I've ever, one of the most bizarre things that I've ever experienced. I've experienced a lot of bizarre things, but cuddling under a blanket with a complete stranger on a flight from San Francisco to Amsterdam, and it really was an experience that I'll never quite forget. But anyway, and then the flight ended, and then off we departed on the plane. We got to we exited the plane into the airport, kind of looked at each other, gave each other a big hug, and off she went. But anyway, that was just a unforgettable, one of many unforgettable travel experiences. So with all that being said, we'll do a high hope we'll dedicate this high hope to my dad. Uh, Dedicate this high hope to my dad. But my dad is well. Here's one. This is a good one for my dad. My dad's anniversary. Be a great memory. Enjoy every moment with your friends and family. Don't hold back with your loved ones. There are no guarantees on how long we have together. Make your time here count. In the end, all we leave is love and memories. Make sure you leave behind great memories. Could you have asked for a better high hope on the anniversary of Dad passing? I'll read it again. Be a great memory. Enjoy every moment with your friends and family. Don't hold back with your loved ones. There are no guarantees on how long we have together. Make your time here count. In the end, all we leave is love and memories. Make sure you leave behind great memories. And the quote is from Oscar Wilde. Memory is the diary we all carry about with us. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Oscar Wilde. So anyway, all right. Have a wonderful day. It's off to work I go. And isn't that what the Seven Dwarfs would sing or something? Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to work I go. But have a wonderful day. I've noticed that some of these videos that I've been doing in the morning have been getting upwards to averaging 300 views, which is unlike times in the past where I would be getting like 100 or 150. So that's kind of an interesting observation. And also, I think my subscribers have reached something like 8.7 thousand or something like that. But anyway, it's all well and good. Have a wonderful day, okay? And take good care.